The Kirky B Show with photographer-drummer Rob Shanahan.
It's the Kirky B Show, and I'm here with the one and only, one of my dear friends, drummer, photographer, Rob Shanahan. How are you, brother?
I'm good, brother. Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You're in Minnesota, right?
I am, and guess what? I was at the Minnesota Vikings game last night, Monday Night Football.
Oh, man.
Oh, it was so much fun. We beat the 49ers.
You know, I saw the highlight reel of that just
so
this
great.
morning, man. That must have been a fun game to go to, right?
Well, it was an interesting day. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. Day in the life in Minnesota. I came in a few days ago, and yesterday morning we had my high school band director's funeral.
Oh,
and they asked me to give the eulogy, and it was one of the most sweetest, honorable things I could have ever done, and it went well. And it was so nice to see so many old classmates and bandmates and teachers. And then from there, I went to ABC Channel 5, Twin Cities Live, to sit down and have a talk about my new book. It was just great. And then right from there, went right to the Vikings game, met up with my brother, and we had so much fun.
that is ridiculous, man. Let's see this new book. I want to see the cover.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about it, guys. Look at this. Volume 2.
Does it go to 11?
That's so funny. Derek Smalls.
It will go to 11.
He asked the exact same thing.
Eventually.
So check this out. This guitar is Billy Squier's 1958 Les Paul Gold Top Standard. The song that he recorded, Everybody Wants You On. Yeah, isn't that great? I shot this just before COVID in New York at his apartment and got to sit and interview him and talk all about it. I had a film crew with me, and we talked all about the guitar. And I'm like, okay, tell me the history of this guitar. It was super, super cool. Check this out. Okay, so we did it as a tribute to our beloved Charlie Watts.
Oh, man.
I love my lovely friend Sheila E. wrote the foreword, and I'm just so proud of this one. It's a really great one. If you have volume 1, you're going to love volume 2.
Man, I had the honor of being in volume 1. Thank you.
You are. You and your super cool car.
Not so cool anymore, man. That thing's like, what, 18 years old now?
It's classic.
It is. It's a classic now. Well, a few more years and it'll be a classic.
Like us.
Yeah. But, man, I want to dive into, you went to the Vikings game last night.
Yeah.
You started off first as a sports photographer, correct?
Yeah. Actually,
talk a little bit about that.
My college in Minnesota, it's now called Minnesota State Mankato, but when I was here, it was called Mankato State University, home of the Minnesota Vikings training camp. And when they would kick into training camp, the Vikings would be there at my school down in the field, and I would hang out, take pictures of them, and just be amazed. Wow, there's my, beloved Vikings. I'm a huge Vikings fan, as everyone knows. And when I got to LA, I reached out to the NFL photos office and just kept pestering them. I got to get out, shoot sports. I'm a major football player, football fan, and I just want to get out there. So 2 years later, they called, hey, we got an extra credential for this game. And my first game was the Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals back when Bo Jackson was playing.
Wow.
And yeah, it went great. And they started calling me every Sunday. I was going somewhere. And then I got a contract from the NFL. I was an official NFL contract photographer. And all season I was shooting games. And then off season, I was shooting events for them, like golf tournaments and, doing covers for magazines and books. It was really fun. I really enjoyed that because I was such a football fan. And I always made my way back to Minnesota for a couple of games while I was here. And it was super cool. And then from there, Major League Baseball. The head of Major League Baseball photos reached out, and I was shooting Dodgers, Angels, all that stuff, San Diego Padres. And I did that for about 5 years, and I really enjoyed it, but I'm a musician at heart. and I was
You
still
had to
shooting
choose rock and roll, didn't you?
yeah, I was shooting my musician friends all the time, and I'm like, why don't I do this full time? Let's dive into music. So I stopped shooting the sports and just went right into music.
Wow. So after NFL and
That would have
MLB,
been
you just went straight to musicians.
well, I was doing both at the same time, and then I just kind of got busier shooting one, and I let the other one kind of go, and started turning down stuff in the sports world, and just really enjoyed shooting music. So that's what I did. That would have been, I guess, early to mid 90s to give you a time frame.
Right.
And
All the while, which a lot of people don't know, is that you're a drummer yourself.
yeah,
And
that's
you have a Stones tribute band, do you not? Is that still
Hollywood
happening?
Stones. And get this,
Hollywood
Kurt,
Stones.
I know you're a big fan because you come and see us, and that's like the
Yes,
biggest
I
thrill
am.
to me. I'm like playing, I look, and there's Kurt Viscara watching me play.
I
So
had
much
to,
fun.
man. It was like you guys played my favorite song.
Can't you
Can
hear
you
me
hear me
now?
knocking?
I know, so
It's
great.
my
I love
song, dude.
playing that song, and I love playing it just as close as I can to get it to Charlie. So next year, March is our 30th anniversary show. 30
All right.
years.
I got to make it to that one.
Yeah, can you
I got
believe
to
it?
make it to
30
that.
years. All you kids out there, I can't believe how fast 30 years go. So,
And it's all the same members, right?
yeah, same guys, same
Wow.
lineup, brothers,
Yeah, if
and
anyone has a chance to go see Rob play with the Hollywood Stones, it's such a treat. I mean, who's the lead singer? What's his name?
Dick Swagger. Dick Swagger.
Dick
Kurt, is that you?
Swagger. I was going to say Stick Swagger, but Dick is better.
That's funny.
But what a cool name, and it's really a cool band. And these guys nail that whole what is it, like 70s, like maybe a tad of the early 80s Stones, but mostly 70s,
Yeah,
right?
we're just huge Stones fans, and we want to recreate the music live as best we can as you hear it on the radio.
Yeah.
And just decided to, when I got in the band, I decided, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to pay tribute to Charlie and learn it exactly how he did it, put as much effort as I can to make it feel and sound like Charlie. I don't want to do the Stones doing, what I think it should be like. When you see cover bands doing the Stones and they're adding all sorts of drum fills, it's awful.
Yeah. It's got to be in honor of, and you have to honor that element, that the roots of it. And
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say here, when Charlie passed, I automatically thought of you and thought, you're the guy. You should be the one playing with the Stones if they continue to go on. Of course, they chose Steve Jordan, but man, you would have been right in there.
Thanks, bud.
But you
Thank
had my
you.
vote.
Well, you and a bunch of other people. I had a ton of people reach out and ask, are you getting a Stones gig now? Oh my God. I'm like, wow, that's just such an incredible honor to be even thought about doing it. And, if I had an opportunity to sit in with those guys and play, maybe that would have happened. They would have thought, wow, that feels really good. Maybe this would be a good fit. But I get it. Steve Jordan's been with those guys. He's been in that family for a long, long time, and he's
Right.
awesome, and he's just such a dear friend. And I've been working with Steve for a long time. I've been shooting him forever. And uh, when they were in LA, I had breakfast with Steve, like a 2-hour breakfast, and I got to ask him every question about when he first started playing with them as the group and how it went and rehearsals, and just incredible. So much fun.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when he started playing with Keith, that's when I had joined Mix Camp when he was doing his solo record, Wandering
Yeah.
Spirit. And, I wish that tour would have gone on, but because of the Stones, which is the nuclei of why all those guys exist, they're like, we got to get back to the band and go on the Steel Wheels tour. So
Yeah.
I remember the tour with Mick got cut short because of that.
You and I have had so many discussions about your time with Mick. It's let's just talk about it with, on the show right now for your viewers and people. What an amazing experience. Like,
Oh
how
man,
amazing.
it totally was. But that's on your show, my friend. I'm interviewing you.
No, I want to know all about you playing with Mick Jagger. I remember.
Oh man, I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you all about it. But man, I've been such a fan of yours, not only just as a drummer, but as and a photographer. And you're one of my dear friends. But man, there's just so much I see in your work as a photographer, and what I hear when you play drums. Like they're seamless to me, and I think that's it's a really fine line of crossing art forms, like photography and drums. I dabbled in photography and thought of going to Brooks Institute in Santa Barbara, and that was kind of like that was a backup plan in high school, but I just loved the drums so much that I had to move to Hollywood and go to Musicians Institute. But photography still to this day really captures my eye and my imagination. And man, it's just incredible that you're able to do both.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like they're so connected. It's a symbiotic relationship. And I feel like photography can capture music in a way that words and the recording studio can't. Like being able to put yourself into a photo, feeling like you're there, or feeling the emotion of the artist, or maybe even the connection that I'm making with the artist while I'm doing the photo shoot. So it's so cool you pick up on that. And I heard an interview with Ronnie Wood recently. Actually, he was on the Jimmy Fallon show, and they started showing some of his art. Jimmy brought out like 4 or 5 pieces of his art. And Ronnie said, like sometimes I'll pick up a paintbrush and I'll start painting, and then, oh, there's my guitar. I'm going to go over and start playing. It's like so connected. And the same with me. Yeah, I love drumming. And then, it's like I get the calls to go shoot whatever. And I go, and, you're in your car, you're listening to music all the way to the photo shoot, and then you're shooting, and then you're going back into music and back into drumming. And it's just all of this creative music and photography flow.
Man, as a fan of yours, I have to ask, like, who is your top 5 artists that you photographed? Your top favorite 5? Go.
Charlie. Actually, I'm not giving Charlie my pinky. He gets my thumb, because he's Charlie Watts, Keith Richards, Mick Jagger. You see where I'm going with this? Ron Wood. And I did a super cool photo shoot with Chuck Leavell in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta to hook up with him, and we went to Big Tree Studios, or is it Big Tree Sound? No, Big Tree Studios in Atlanta, just outside of Atlanta. I got him out in the woods with the keyboard because he's a tree guy. He's
Christmas tree guy.
Mm-hmm. It's in volume 2. It's a really fun photo, and just a wonderful guy. And we're in the recording studio, and I wanted to do some shots of him, kind of simulated recording studio shots. And he starts playing Dead Flowers and singing it, and I'm like, wow. And there's a drum kit there, so I'm like, shit. I put down the camera, I jumped on the kit, and I played it with him. I just sat down and started playing. He's looking at me like, holy shit, he knows the song. And then the best part about it, when we got to the ending, I knew he was going to play the live version and not the ending you hear on the radio, which is, the little bell, ding, ding. He went into the live ending, and I followed him right to the ending, and we ended it, bam, bam, just like they do. And he's like, wow.
So it's safe to say that you're probably like the photographer for the Stones and your favorite band to shoot.
It was fun. And then he had to ask, okay, so tell me the deal with your drumming. And I told him about the Hollywood Stones, and it was so much fun. Very fun.
Yeah, Chuck was in the
go. There's a great example of the symbiotic relationship. Like, being able to drum with Chuck Leavell and do that cool photo with him is it's just like one meets the other, and
Right.
I don't want to have to decide which one I do.
And I notice in your photography too, the way you shoot, I just noticed the angles and the perspective. Because you're a drummer and because we're drummers, we're sitting in the back and we have that whole panoramic of the band, the
Amazing.
stage, the crowd, the
Yeah.
crew, the side wings of the stage where the monitor guys are, the backline guys. So we have this multiple like eagle's eye view of everything. And I notice in your photography, you capture that. You capture the action, but there's also like I'll look and sometimes I'll see some dude in the back and he's like tuning its guitar, getting ready to make the switch, and
Yeah.
those are just things that I think people don't ever get to see because they're so focused on the artist. But you capture like, that foreground and background of what's happening. And I that's what I love about your photography.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great being able to capture the whole music scene, everything that it takes to put on a show
Right.
from all angles.
I know Volume 1 was a big success, and I know you just came out with Volume 2.
Yeah.
Moving forward into 3, 4, and 5 and beyond, do you think it'll still be musician-centric, band-centric, or do you think you'll
I don't know.
expand out to other arts?
I've been asked that question. I've done 2 talk shows here in Minneapolis, and that's one of them, one question that brought up. So when's Volume 3? And I remember when Volume 1 came out, like 2 weeks after it came out, people are asking, when's Volume 2? It's like when a band puts out a record, it's like, okay, give me some time.
Right.
So we're going to enjoy Volume 2 while we can. It's been 12 years since my first book came out. Can you believe it?
Has it really been 12? Oh my God.
So this one's going to simmer for a while. And then Volume 3 could be, my travel photos, Africa. My Africa.
Yeah, I see those on your social media, and those are just stunning.
Thank you. Yeah, we should probably tell people that I have a gallery. You should go to robshanahan.art, which is an e-commerce site that I started during the pandemic when we were all sitting around twiddling our thumbs, and I had all the time in the world to really focus on other things than just shooting. So we put up the gallery online and included a bunch of my Africa photos and my travel photos, and they do well. People love them. People start collecting and have them in their house. I love that. Selling an Africa photo is just so super cool.
Right. And while we're on that topic, let's talk about where people that are watching this can buy your books, volumes 1 and 2.
robshanahan.art. Go there. You can get the book, have a look at the gallery prints. And also, when you first get there, it'll ask you to sign up for my newsletter, which you should, because I'm always posting fun stuff behind the scenes, photos that you won't see in my book or anywhere else. I give everyone a little treat, a little sneak peek into the world of music and photography. So
that's the one-stop shop then for both volumes of the book, and then your
they're both up
nature
there.
photography and stuff like that.
Yep.
Great.
By the way, Kurt, I love this. I started doing this. Look at this.
Yeah, I know, man. You got that gang member look. I dig it.
I did this before the holidays as fun for my wife, just to kind of tease her, and she's like, "Oh my God, you got to keep that." So
yeah, mine's gray, so Daniela is like, you got to dye it red or something. So I might do that. I might just dip it in a can of paint or something.
That's nice.
But hey, man, as we're wrapping up, how can you let people follow you on social media? What are those?
Yeah, at Shanahan Photo. At Shanahan Photo is my Insta, my what else do I have? Facebook, X? Insta, yeah, all that stuff. X.
Okay.
Everything is at Shanahan Photo. Go and I post stuff all the time and love to keep people in the loop. It's really cool. It's really fun.
Yes, and if they want to come see you play drums with the Hollywood Stones,
hollywoodstones.com. Check it out.
Nice. Man, listen, thanks for sharing this time with the Kirky B Show. And it's such an honor to have you on, man, just to I mean, we could go on and on and on, but
I know. I'm
people,
looking at the clock and it's 11:19. I'm thinking, oh wait, my clock is still in Pacific time. I'm in the Midwest. It's only 1:19, and it goes so fast. I
it does
know.
go so fast. But for those who are unfamiliar with Mr. Shanahan, go to his website and get the books. Go see him play. It's just such a treat. I mean, this is a man of many hats, but the hats that he wears are massive. So check him out. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Shanahan. Rob, thank you, man. I love
Thanks,
you,
Kurt,
brother.
buddy. I love you, bud. And I'll
All
see
right.
you in LA when I get home. Okay.
Yes,
Next
sir.
week.
Yeah,
I'm here for the week. And then Sunday, I'm going to be in Lambeau Field, Vikings at Green Bay Packers. Yeah.
Oh man, have a hot dog for me.
I have an event Saturday night in Green Bay, so staying over for the game. And anyway, Kurt, it's been great. Always great hanging with you. And I'll see you when I get home.
Absolutely. The Kirky B Show, everybody. We out. Peace.
Love you, babe.